For sure. So talking about innovation, I mean, even the way that we're recording this podcast with Zoom and video, kind of a live feel is a bit of a new innovation and something that we're using a lot more. And we're living in a much more visual world, especially with the younger generation like Holden that we've got here. They don't communicate and exchange information in the same way. And so this is more and more exciting tools and thinking about different ways to share communication. And I know, you're a big fan of Peter Diamandis. We'll probably talk about him a bit later. Read the book Abundance, and then read his next book, Bold, which is about creating exponential experiences through technology and the internet, and thinking about how to connect agriculture and connect ideas. And this is something that I know you've been working on, and you've got kind of an exciting development, or your next new venture in this area is really tying together those themes of leveraging the new way to communicate and leveraging those people that still have a lot of value to share, eh?
Yeah, thanks, Terry. I'm working on a new project right now called AgVisor Pro, Answers Now. And AgVisor Pro takes advantage of a lot of what we're using right now, which is connectivity. And AgVisor Pro is an idea that I've had for a while now to provide instantaneous connectivity between farmers and those in the agricultural sector to answer questions immediately. And so what does that look like? Well, when I built AgriTrend, when we started to build AgriTrend in 94, 95, started to sketch it out on paper, launched it in 97, Google didn't exist. Hotmail was just coming on. And so AgriTrend was really built around a humanistic connectivity, a humanistic connection environment, a layer of humans. And I believe that human connection at the farm level is not going to go away. The problem is the number of humans that truly understand the problems that a farmer faces are declining. There's not more of them, there's fewer of them. And so the challenge is to shrink time and space in such a manner that a farmer could access the expertise that he needs in real time when he needs it. And so that's what AgVisor Pro is attempting to do. We're going to be launching AgVisor Pro at the Ag in Motion show on July 16th. AgVisor Pro will have farmers with their profiles on it. So you'll have your farm on there, Terry, and you'll have the kind of equipment you run, the kind of crops you grow, kind of the operations that you work with. And then on the other side, there'll be a whole series of agricultural experts, which would include independent experts, people like Tom Wolf. So Tom's a sprayer expert. You'll be able to access Tom. And Elaine Fraze, who's a family and human resource expert in the farming community. You'll be able to talk to Elaine. Terry Betker's coming on for farm business management. Or Steve LaRock, you'll be able to access him for controlled traffic farming questions. So on one side, you got farmers, and the other side, you've got experts. Those are independent experts, but it could also be industry experts. There's nothing stopping you from instantly accessing DOT technicians, for example. So DOT technicians could be supported on AgVisor Pro. Company like Taurus might decide to list its reps on AgVisor Pro. And so you could have instantaneous connectivity. And then there's government and academic. And so we've got a guy like Scott Mears, who's the provincial entomologist for Alberta. And Scott's on AgVisor Pro. So you'd be able to access Scott. And also, farmers would be able to advise other farmers. So think of AgVisor Pro like the Uberization of knowledge and wisdom. And we've fused together the thinking in about 3 or 4 different platforms. If you think about it, we've done some matchmaking like Tinder or eHarmony. We've done a lot of Uberization where you can select your ride. So you can select a PhD level, a domain expert, a professional, industry expert. You can choose when you want to talk to them, because they can make themselves available instantaneously to you. We are creating a community at AgVisor Pro called the Peer Garden. It's like a beer garden, and we will be hosting the Peer Garden this year at Ag in Motion, and we're also creating a community for conversation. And the areas we're supporting, Terry, would include like the cropping areas, livestock areas, human resources, farm business management. But one that really comes to heart is the mental health area. We have a lot of mental health stress at farm level. A lot of people are talking about it, but not many people have figured out how do you solve this problem. And so with AgVisor Pro, I'm trying to build a system that would allow a farmer to connect instantaneously with a professional mental health person in a secure, private, confidential environment, and have that cost picked up by some sponsor that I'm working on right now. So that's really important. And
Yeah, I really like the idea and the concept, and obviously you've been sharing some of this with me over the past few months or year or so, and now seeing it come together. Been playing around with it a bit. I think it's pretty simple, intuitive, and I really do believe, especially for the younger generation. Like I see our kids. I mean, they're not going to be going to the coffee shop and hearing the local rumors, or maybe going into the dealership and hanging out there to learn about things. And so I think this is how they communicate, whether it's Snapchat or social media, other tools like that, right? And I think for somebody like Holden, again, in the future, you can be out you're going to be on your iPad probably running those 5 or 6 dots, or your autonomous fleet doing all kinds of stuff. You're maybe editing the next podcast at the same time, and maybe you need to call somebody to fix a software problem on the machine, or maybe you need to reach out to Elaine Froze because you and me just had a big fight, and you're stressed out and wondering how to deal with your dad, right? So what do you think about that, Holden?
I don't really know. I think I would like to grow up in a world where everything is just a lot easier to do.
It's not that easy to do right now, or what?
No, not really.
Pretty tough, eh? Pretty tough world to live in. Yeah, so that's really cool. I think there's like you say, Rob, there's knowledge, there's people we know from being in the AgriTrend group. There's some amazing minds there that just can never be replaced, right? And I think about how powerful that network was of sharing information and knowledge. And even for some of those people, whether it's archiving videos or presentations or research papers, could kind of live forever within a platform like this, live on forever, and continue to generate value for agriculture into the future.
Yeah, that's really the thing, Terry. When you consider a guy like Dr. Ian Evans or even Elston Solberg, the real value those guys have is the wisdom that they can impart. And do we really need these guys on airplanes all the time for you to access them? And I understand that agriculture is a lot of information that's out there for free. I get that. But at the end of the day, I think that a farmer, before he makes a decision on a real important issue on his farm, he wants to talk to somebody real. He wants to talk to a human. So I talk about high tech and high touch. And for the foreseeable future, even as agriculture gets more high tech, like Dot, when you have an issue, I think you need to talk to a high touch person who can help that. And what I'm trying to do is to shrink time and space and Uberize that, so a farmer can feel really good about accessing these people for a 10 or 20-minute session, maybe an hour session, to solve a problem. So the technology we built inside of AgVisor Pro includes audio, so you can just talk, or screen-to-screen sharing. You can see the guy's screen, or video to video like we're doing right now. You can take a picture of a leaf or a bug or a disease and share that instantaneously with the guy on the other end or a lady on the other end. So we've done, I think, a pretty good job of pulling together some really cool technologies, and this is just the beginning. So Terry, I'm feeling like I felt at the early days of AgriTrend, when I was coming out with AgriTrend, and I had more people tell me, "Nah, this is never going to work. You're crazy, psych. It's not going to work." And I was up at 1:40 a.m. last night. I had butterflies. It's like 52 days away from launch or whatever, and I got butterflies. We're going to be bringing something out that was in here, and now I've got a team of Miranda Carr and Patrick Walter. I've assembled him, and I've got advisors and programmers all over Calgary, Seattle, and Vietnam hitting away on this thing. So I've got a lot of resources that have been expended to bring this off the ground, and I got to tell you, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about how it fits together with DOT. Everything seems to be coming together in a new way, a new way of doing things. So it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm very impressed by the team that you've collected again for this new venture. Had the opportunity to kind of see the inside of that on a call the other day, and I like where it's going. It's a concept that I've had a similar thought in my head, but you've really, I think, figured out how to commoditize it. And this is actually an area where we've struggled with, even within our own consulting business, with someone like Justin Cleaver, who's a really, really excellent GIS guy and really good with the monitors. And a lot of times we get calls from other coaches and other clients that aren't in our client base for monitor support, at 11 o'clock at night or midnight on a Sunday or whatever it may be, because the guy's in the field and he wants to get his unit going, and the reality is, I just kind of figured this out the other day. On a 15 or 16 hour shift on our 80-foot drill, we're putting in about $50,000 worth of inputs in a day, right? So when that machine isn't running, it's worth a lot. So if you can make a phone call to somebody like Justin and talk to him for 20 minutes, and he can fix your little software issue or tell you how to punch a couple buttons on your controller and get you going in 20 minutes, that's worth a lot. And so someone like Justin would take a lot of those calls at different times. And a lot of times we just end up, it's hard to charge for. It's hard to, because you don't have a formal relationship, and you just kind of end up doing it because you're nice. But now here's a formal tool that for those wizards like that can create some value. And hey, when you're sitting on the side of the field on a Saturday at 9 o'clock and the dealership is closed and you can't get a hold of anybody, I mean, I think most people would be really happy to
well, if you're in that situation, Terry, and you can't get your controller working and it's late at night, and you can get a hold of a Justin, I think it's fair that Justin be able to help another farmer in real time. And we've created the system to make sure that it's all clean, the transaction's clean, the farmer is able to get the answer. The session is recorded for the farmer, so he has it there in his filing cabinet on AgVisor Pro. He's got it there for reference, so he can go back to it, and Justin can get paid. So we've made that all work. I was talking to Steve LaRock the other day, and Steve said, "Man, this is perfect. I get called all the time from Australia for a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing. Happy to help out, but I've just got no way to monetize my mind and my brain." And I think that this is really one of the things that's going on in agriculture right now is you would think that with the amount of Google out there, that the amount of information would just grow exponentially, and it is, but the amount of knowledge and wisdom does not grow correspondingly. So at the end of the day, I was trying to do some welding the other day, and I was trying to figure out what to do with this MIG welder. I went to three or four videos on YouTube. I know, scary. I went to the owner's manual, which is worse. And in the end, I would have gladly paid somebody $50 to just walk me through some of the nuances that I was trying to deal with. It would have been great just to have somebody instantaneously help me. So I hope that we're on to that. And, we've profiled AgVisor Pro with some farm focus groups, and then also with the Power Farm groups. And I'm running 2 peer groups called the Power Farm groups. And so we profiled AgVisor Pro with Power Farm 1, which you're involved in, Terry, and also the newest Power Farm 2 group. They were profiled as well. And, the indication is, thumbs up. And I've taken it out to industry. Industry seems to be pretty interested in what I'm doing. I think I solved some problems for them, and we'll see. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Some of the ideas that I really liked as well was the mental health concept, because I think that this is a growing issue. People are starting to get more open about talking about it, but it's definitely, with the pressures of everything that's going on today, today's world is becoming more of an issue. And I think that while there is resources out there like helplines, I just even think for myself, well, if I'm feeling really down or in a bad place, do I don't know, am I going to go look up a helpline and phone somebody that I don't know, or maybe someone like Elaine Froze, who I do know is on there, or a couple other people. And in that moment, that instant, if I could connect instantly and say, hey, I'm just having a real tough time like this, with this, just need somebody to talk to. I think it's much more personal and would feel safer. I think that could go a long ways. And I love the idea of the SOS concept, because hey, if you're hurt in the field and it is an emergency, like, do you call 911 first? Do you call your wife first? Who do you call? And then you got to try to explain the location, and you could be in shock or in a panic mode where you're not thinking clearly. So to be able to, hopefully simply enough, just hit an app and hit the SOS button, and that can go to 911, can go to every person that you set up on your farm team and the locations there. To me, that's a really cool little simple feature that could have a lot of value. So there's some cool stuff there.
Yeah, I think so. The SOS functionality we're building really is, at this point in time, is directly to your team. So you fell off the tractor, broke your leg, you hit the button, and it'll alert 4 or 5 people on your team to come to you right away. So that's what we're building there. I think that's cool. And just to be clear on the mental health side, we're going to work towards having true mental health professionals on the other end of the line. So let's say you're having a bad day, Terry, on the farm, and you really want to talk to somebody. The likelihood of you going to Langenberg, or the likelihood of you going to Russell or even to Yorkton, pretty small. You first of all, you don't know who to go to. You got to make an appointment, but that appointment could be 2 weeks into the future. You don't want to go to town. You're not going to pull your truck up in front of the mental health office in town because you're worried about what everybody's going to think or say. And so I'm hopeful that we can have the support of the industry to back this side of the equation, because I do need resources to help pull this together. But this is needed, whether it's ag more than ever. There are a number of organizations that are focusing in on creating awareness of mental health on the farm. It's real. The pressures are real. We're just human beings. And if AgVisor Pro could save the life of one farmer, make a difference in one farm family, I would think that this would be a huge success. And this is a way of doing the how. There's lots of people saying we have a problem, but what I'm trying to do is address the how do we fix the problem.